Today, we're going to take a look at Caleb Ralston and how I would grow his LinkedIn and email alongside his YouTube and Instagram. If you don't know who Caleb Ralston is, he is the brand guy. He worked very closely with Gary Vaynerchuk, and then he worked with the Hormozis and helped them blow up. Obviously, they've got a lot of interesting things to say, but Caleb was a key team member in helping them grow their brand. So let's first take a look at where he's at with his brand. So if you just search, and you can see at first I don't know how to spell his name right, this is what you see. You see his website as the first search result, and you see his LinkedIn as the second one, even though he has far more Instagram followers, 75,000, and far more YouTube subscribers, 23,000. LinkedIn ranks very high, and so that's just something to be aware of. Um, so Caleb occupies a unique category. There are a lot of creators out there, and when you hear creator, you probably think of Instagram fitness influencers or like beauty influencers for girls, Mr. Beast. But Caleb's experience isn't with those folks. It's been with business owners who are using their brands as marketing channels for their businesses. They're not using it just to get sponsorships or just the typical influencer path that you think of. And so Gary Vaynerchuk, he monetizes through his agency. Alex Hormozy, he monetizes through his private equity business. And the truth is, that's what most business owners want. They don't want just followers, they want leads, they want dollars, they want revenue. And so he has a unique position in his category. Third, Caleb is already collecting emails. So you can see right here, this is one of his lead magnets, How to Build Your Brand Workbook. It says a few things that you can get inside. And after you click on it, it asks for your first name and for your email. And then afterwards, he's got an email sequence that gets you to use it, but then pitches an offer. And so there's a few things that we can insinuate from this. The first is he's already creating text-based content. He has an email platform. The second is he wants to own his audience. And that means that any and all traffic sources that he gets, it makes a lot of sense to funnel those into his a lead magnet and build his email list because that can be a central source of where he could basically point attention and traffic to at will. And the other thing this means is there's a good content flywheel to be built because when a post does well on another platform, why not repurpose that as an email? One email can become several LinkedIn posts. The best LinkedIn post can become new emails and get expanded into those. So there's lots of opportunity there, especially with the text-based platforms since email is text-based. Fourth, Caleb crushes his Instagram and YouTube. So he's very good at video-based content, and you could tell. Just go take a look at his YouTube, go take a look at his Instagram. He's also good at text-based platforms, like just looking at his Twitter, looking at his LinkedIn, getting a few of his emails. I think he does a great job. However, because it's clear that he's a 10 out of 10 on video, and I don't know exactly where I'd put him on text. There's not enough data there, but maybe a 7 or an 8, like really good. But that's where it might make sense to leverage agencies, freelancers, or employees to the best effect. Fifth, he focuses less on volume and more on quality. And so the truth is, he doesn't post very often. I took a screenshot. These were his last 3 videos on YouTube. And you'll notice he posted 11 days before, a month before, and 2 months before. So almost like one video per month. But he's made up for that by posting absolute bangers, what I call blockbuster content. You can see each of these. I have this little plugin called vidIQ, and it shows how well these videos perform compared to past videos. And he's got 100x's on all of these. So they've performed very, very well. And he puts a ton of time and effort into these. And so that's what I would consider blockbuster content. Of course, if you were posting more often and kept the quality high, that would be a major, major improvement. Cool. So that's a quick look at his brand overall. Let's look at LinkedIn directly. So as of June 2025, when I'm recording this video, he's sitting at 8,800 followers. And his last couple of posts have great engagement. If we just take a look at these, my face is in the way. 175 likes, 32 comments, 5 reposts. This one has 339, 124 comments. So really, really good engagement, which is promising. So it kind of fits with that blockbuster content. Like all the pieces that he writes and posts have been doing very well. He just isn't posting very much. His LinkedIn custom button, so this visit my website, takes them directly where they can apply to work with him. This is his featured section, so he's just promoting a couple of posts. Okay, so that's where he's at. Now let's discuss a couple of upgrades. So first upgrade is looking at his profile, his featured section. So it's clear that he wants people to go two places. One, get applications to work with him, and two, get email subscribers from his lead magnet. And so those are the two I would put in the featured section instead of these posts. The bio. So it says scaling brands that create impact. Because I know who he is, that's totally fine. But if I didn't know who he was, then this wouldn't do much for me. Like, sure, the colors look nice, great profile photo. Like, it sounds nice, but it's not very clear, and I don't know why I should trust him. So I would rewrite it. And I would say something like this. I believe he just does personal brands, so that's why I had the question mark in here. But scaling personal brands that create impact. Same phrase, just a little bit more specific. And then previous VaynerMedia and director of brand at acquisition.com. We might have to remove the dot. Just, I don't know if it links. I think it does. So we could do it like that or do a little space.com. 6-hour free course plus workbook on my website. And that would be the call to action. I would probably have that be the link, the custom button. So instead of the visit my website here, uh, it could still say visit my website, but it would lead to the lead magnet. If he is really prioritizing for applications, then it could just lead to applications. Okay, so not a ton of updates there, but a few. And then content upgrade. So first major content upgrade is the number of posts. He's not posting very much. So he already knows that building a brand requires quality and quantity. And so I'm sure he knows how important volume is. And I imagine he's just busy. He's got clients, hasn't been the biggest priority yet. But if he goes from 2 monthly LinkedIn posts to daily LinkedIn posts, that would be a massive lift. By far the biggest upgrade he can make on LinkedIn. If he does still want to keep that blockbuster content only, so basically not committing to something like a daily cadence, but just posting bangers, I think a cadence like moving from 1 to 2 times per month to 1 to 2 times per week would be a massive upgrade. And you could still keep that quality like extra high. Okay, next is types of media. So he does a lot of videos like this, which are a minute long. They're nice little clips. And I like it. The other thing he does is text-based posts. So let me just talk about both of those. So first, text-based only posts tend to be the worst performers on LinkedIn. That's across dozens of clients that I've worked with. If you include images, I've seen about a 24% lift. And if you include videos, I've seen about a 30% lift. This is on my own content. However, that is caveated with the fact that the images in the video are first relevant and second, they are supplementary, meaning the text stands alone and the video or image supports it. Fortunately, you can see Caleb is also using text here. It's not just like watch this video below, which is what a lot of people do. So you can still get the meat of the post from this, and then if you're interested, you can get more. So I'd love to see him posting videos like this a couple times a week with the text to go with it, and then incorporate more text-based content. This is almost like a YouTube thumbnail, but uh, you get the idea. Okay, the hooks that he uses, I was taking a look. They're all really solid, so there's not a ton to critique there. So that's it. There's not a lot to critique for two reasons. One, he's doing a great job, and then second, he's not producing that much content, so there's not that much to critique anyway. Those are the upgrades I'd recommend for Caleb Ralston, specifically on LinkedIn. But yeah, let me know what you think. Drop your replies in the comments below, and would love to hear what you think. If there's anything I missed, if there's anything you'd add, if you have further questions.